What's up, y'all? We got play some music. We got breaking news going on in LA. This has been going on all day, all for 2 days now. We got riots and ice raids going on here in LA. Welcome
Got back
everybody.
into their vehicles and
So
left.
what we're gonna be doing right now is just playing some of this live coverage of these raids going on in LA. I'm gonna set you guys see what so you guys can see where we at with it, where they at with it. People who are here illegally
And I'm starting to hear
protesting to
different
continue to break
stories.
the
There
law.
was a young man who was here just a moment
Watch
ago.
this.
He told me that he was part of that crowd that walked down there that we showed you earlier. And he said that they were peaceful and he didn't really think that anybody in his crowd, he said they started throwing rocks after they had the tear gas poured on them. And that's what they responded with. Some of the people in the group started throwing the rocks. But right now, there are still those black and whites which are securing that area. I just heard a report when they surrounded the people, the protesters who were in the middle, that some of them, in order to escape, they jumped the fence and they went down on the
This is
train
downtown
tracks.
LA.
And I know that a tweet went out that said they had to stop service on that rail line because those protesters were standing on those train tracks. So, you know, what you're seeing is a lot of people acting under a lot of pressure, a lot of anxiety, and trying to flee. If they had just done what the authorities told them initially, listen, at 9 o'clock tonight, everybody was told to go home. If they didn't go home, they risked being arrested. So now at this late hour, hours after that,
This is live
call
right
to
now.
disperse was given, we still see people coming back into the area. And this is when things can escalate. The irony of it is, even as we're talking to you live and we have still some protesters milling about, we've got the LAPD, we have just regular motorists driving through this intersection. So it's quite a contrast, Susan, of what's going on here tonight. And again, as I was telling you in those earlier reports, it all happens to be where you were standing at the time and what the temperature is of the group and then what the response back is to whatever action they take. And it's being played out at several areas of Southern California. Certainly downtown has been a hot spot. Earlier today, Paramount was, and people are expressing themselves, and some of them will be arrested for the way they are expressing themselves. Laura Diaz reporting live from downtown, sending it back to you.
All right, Laura, thank you
All
very
right,
much.
so y'all see
yes,
that?
we saw from Skyfox, what would you say, Justin, about 24 people?
So you heard a little bit about what's going on down in LA. Yeah, it's where I stay. It ain't been I ain't been seeing no ice. Like I stay around a bunch of niggas. So and so where I live, I haven't been dealing with too much of this shit. But places that I've been driving to and going to, this has been cracking. This has been cracking, a cracking situation. Let's see what they're talking about.
I believe this is exit off the 101 freeway. So skirmish line's still here, and we're seeing a steady stream actually of federal agents, vehicles leaving. So maybe they know that they've called it a night, they're heading home. But certainly it's going to be a bit longer night here for the LAPD officers. They're holding the line here at Temple and Alameda. You can see we've got about 15 vehicles there, LAPD vehicles, and the crowd still here standing on the corner. Now it's unclear whether any of those people
this
were
is my thing,
the
y'all.
people who jumped the train track or jumped the,
So make sure y'all leave
the
a
fence there to
comment.
get onto the train track. But they're certainly hanging out.
Make sure y'all leave a comment, like, and subscribe.
What's going on? And,
See, this is my
really,
thing,
unsure. It may
folks.
just be a night of.
I don't mind, protests or whatever. My thing is, this is my issue right here. Why? Look at this picture right here. Why y'all got a Mexican flag up? That's my question. How in the hell you over here protesting to be a part of the United States, to get heard and get citizenship in the United States with a foreign flag? To me, that's flat out disrespectful. And whoever thumbs down that part, you don't belong in America. Yeah, they slow. You got to be a slow motherfucker. You got to be a slow motherfucker to think that, to think that the people of a nation are going to be happy and proud of you and want to join in on your protests when you wearing a different flag. That don't look too American to me. That don't look too American to me. Appreciate the super chat, Sherman. And I don't know why I can't get. I'm not reading in. I just read that super chat, but I don't know why I'm not able to see the rest of y'all chats. I want to be able to answer y'all questions. So I don't know, but I don't know what the fuck is going on in my chat. I can't see y'all in the chat. Are the comments off? No. Oh, I see why. I see why the comments are off. This video ain't made for no goddamn kids. I see why the comments off. Hold on, let me go in there and fix this. No, this is not made for kids. Hell no. Hell no. To the no, no, no. Hell to the no. To the no, no, no. Hell no, this ain't made for kids. All right, cool. Y'all should be able to chat now in the chat. I was like, why do I have all these people in here? Ain't nobody chatting. All right, chat. Y'all should be good. Say something in the chat if you're on YouTube. But back to what we was talking about. How in the hell are you gonna sit here and protest about what's going on here in the good old United States of America when you got a foreign flag up? So this is what happened for those of you just not doing it. Yeah, we can chat now. I know what I was like. Why I was live? I was like, why am I not getting any chats? I know y'all. I know you niggas like talking in the chat. But this is what we're going on. Recap for those of you just now getting in here. I'm over here drinking a glass of wine, covering this because I've been hearing helicopters and shit. I see personally, I've been out there listening to music all day. I went to LA County Museum of Art earlier. Then I went over to the Mert Park to watch my man Joseph Leonberg debut his new album, Mystic Journey. Beautiful album, by the way. But this is beautiful. Appreciate the super chat, Kenneth Milo. So, okay, Karen Bass is talking. Let's see what she got to say. This is live.
Some people who were violent criminals or whatever, but these kind of reactions, these kind of actions, when
Daniels, YouTube is back up.
Where people are working in a warehouse, a number of people are taken. It makes it
this
very
is live. Mayor
for
Karen
to
Bass talking.
Those people that were arrested were violent criminals, people who are just going to work.
Yeah. How angry are you?
You know what I mean? It's just not. It's not productive for me to be angry. What is productive is for me to be focused, for me to be clear, and for me to be in communication with everyone.
And do you feel like you're getting a good response from the federal side?
Yes, I do feel I'm getting a good response from the federal side. I'm in communication, and as you know, a number of my former colleagues were appointed as major positions in the Trump administration. For example, Secretary of Homeland Security Kristi Noem was one of my former colleagues in Congress. I have not spoken with her directly, but arranging to speak with her in the next couple of days. But I have been speaking with representatives of the White House. I've also spoken to Tom Holman to explain to him the dynamics of Los Angeles and to assure him
the dynamics
that
of Los Angeles is illegal taking black people's jobs.
So we don't need 2,000 soldiers to reinforce that, our law enforcement departments, the LAPD, the sheriffs, etc., are perfectly capable of having a handle on this situation.
And what about Bill Desaley, the U.S. Attorney? Have you had a conversation with him? Because he is pretty steadfast that everything that is being done now by ICE, by Border Patrol, is legal and right.
I like Bill Desaley.
You know, I've not had an opportunity to meet him. He is new in his position, and I believe he was a relatively new member of the state assembly. So I've not had an opportunity to
That's because he was pushing for
I will be
reparations.
reaching out to him in the next
That
couple
person, Bill Desaley, was a Latino Republican who, when the black Democrats tabled reparations here in California, Bill Desaley, the state attorney, is the person that he's a Latino Republican. He was the one that pushed the reparations bill to the table, only for coon niggas to defeat the bill before it got to Governor Newsom's desk.
You had his ear,
so
right?
Of course, Karen Bass don't know who he is because he wanted to help niggas out, and she ain't down with helping niggas in L.A.
And I would also let him know that these type of raids create, chaos and confusion in our city and are not helpful.
You know, it's interesting. Laura Diaz was in Paramount. She spoke to a number of people that she described as more onlookers than demonstrators, and they all had a very similar sentiment, and that is these are people who just want to feed their family. They want to work, and they want a better life than what they left in their home country.
I want y'all to pay attention to the news and how they frame them. These are people who just want a better life. They're just here to work. Well, Americans that have been here on this land for hundreds of years want a better life and want to work too. The difference is we don't get to keep our jobs because you pay the money to illegals to come over here so you can undercut. They can undercut our wages. And wealthy people, instead of being worth $100 million, now they're worth $500 million. Instead of being worth $1 billion, they're worth $10 billion. Instead of being worth $10 billion, they're worth $50 billion. And that all comes from undercutting the price of labor. So let's always remember that when they're talking about these protests, when they talk about the reason why Trump is doing this and the reason why it needs to be done, because illegal immigration undercuts the price of labor, and the only people who win are the wealthy elite.
And what they've experienced?
Oh, my. Yes, because, people in the city of Los Angeles are all my constituents. And yes, I have heard from people, and again, the primary concern they want now is, of course, they don't want to see any more raids take place, but they want to be able to have legal access to the people who are detained. People are not sure who's detained. They're not sure why they're detained. They're not sure what's going to happen to them. And you can imagine the fear and terror in a family to not know whether they will ever see their parent or their spouse again.
Indeed.
They'll see them again.
When
Go see them at
think
home.
about the last 4 years, so a lot has been said about the last 4 years and the way the city and the state has conducted itself as a sanctuary city or state. So that is also what a lot of the Trump administration is saying, that you're paying for, or these illegal or undocumented aliens are paying for the fact that the situation had been ignored for 4 years.
Well, let me just say that the policies that we have actually been in place for 45 years. They were initiated by law enforcement many, many years ago because criminals were preying on the undocumented population. And they wanted people, regardless of their citizenship, to be able to report crimes and not be fearful that they would be deported.
The only people that was praying were other illegals. Latinos were going in and they would see somebody as illegal and they would do stuff. But that's only half the story. The other half of the story is I was here back in the 90s. Illegals come over here. They always get in goddamn car accidents and they get out and run, and there ain't no way you can recoup and recover. And a major reason why our insurance is so expensive out here in LA is that now we got to pay for basically undocumented we got to pay in LA. You better pay for goddamn uninsured motorists. You better. It's worth a few extra dollars because of this shit right here. That's only some of the story that I tell him. These people
That's
are so
the
goddamn caught
origin
up.
of our laws. So I don't think that
There might be fewer people that are assembled here. I think a lot of them are just people who've come to observe. In terms of who may have been arrested, I don't have access to that information. And the black and white still remain there, no sirens. They are securing that area so that.
See, why they got so many goddamn cars? I'm gonna mute them talking, and I'm gonna talk. See, this is for those of you just now tuning in. This is Ice Baby coming to LA to put the smackdown on illegal immigration. I had somebody ask me earlier, what do I think about this? That's what I think about it. People was like, Devon, what do you think about what's going on with ICE? This is what I said.
Ice, baby. Ice, baby. All right, stop.
No, don't stop. That's what I think. Because if you've been here for 10, 15 years and you didn't get your affairs in order, that's not my problem. Let me give you an example. I remember as a child back in the 80s and the 90s, I remember my father was a truck driver. He worked in food service delivery out here in LA, drove trucks. I remember my dad complaining that he made more money in 1988 than he did in 1998. Why? About the mid to late 80s. In the mid 80s and prior, the truck drivers are all white and black. White guys, black guys. As the late 80s came, he started getting a lot of Mexican truck drivers in. And what would happen, and this isn't to be racist towards anybody, any group of people, let's just talk turkey about what happened. Every time when it would be time to renegotiate the contract every 2 years and get more money from 1988 on, I remember sitting at home and my dad being going to his union meetings. He didn't go often. My dad was always at home on Saturday. But every now and again, he'd have to go to a union meeting on Saturday. And he'd always come home frustrated. Like, damn it, we had everything. We had all the leverage to get a $2 raise. They fighting for a $2 raise. And it would always be the Mexicans. Once they had more than 4 Mexican truck drivers, it was a wrap. They'd always fold. And instead of getting a $2 raise, they'd get a 10-cent raise. I remember one time my dad's union meeting in like early 90s. I remember my dad getting a pay cut. They was like, basically, if you guys want to keep your jobs, we're going to pay you less. But that happened by the time all the black truck drivers left, because a lot of black truck drivers was leaving and going other places because the money wasn't good anymore. And that's a real life consequence. That matters. That's less Laker games my dad could take me to. Dodger games. I couldn't afford my parents couldn't afford a pair of Jordans. Nigga, I had to buy the Reeboks. Nigga, I had to buy the LA Gears, not the Reebok pumps. Because if my dad would go in to get a raise, they would either get no raise or sometimes have to take a pay cut. Why? Because of illegal immigration. The company would just go and hire a bunch of illegals. And the people who decided to continue to work at that place, they shit got cut. And that's just a fact. You said Bill Essay is Lebanese? Oh, that's why he was on our side then. He wasn't Mexican. Appreciate that. Mike C says Pete Wilson tried to get the illegals out. Yeah, Pete Wilson did most definitely tried to get the illegals out. And then these these liberals who they benefit because they are the ones that that own these companies and want the cheap labor. So that's why liberals are into it. It's for the cheap labor. Keith Milo says, I'm in Texas. Many leaders I hear are very disrespectful. They feel entitled to be here in the U.S. Folks are fed up. Yeah, Keith. Same here, brother. All the videos over? Are they done? So let's go back then. They done. Damn it. So what we gonna do? I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna look for some more videos. He said there's no such thing as black and brown coalition. Do not fool yourself. You damn right. And the people be getting mad when you say it's not a coalition. It's not. And it's not because we don't want it to be a coalition. It's because we're constantly told when everything's going cool with other people, they constantly telling us, all black people, you just complaining. They want to come around to the hip hop parties. They want to come around and sing and dance with us. But when it's time to be a nigga, these folks is acting hella white. That's just a fact. No disrespect to any other group. But we got to talk turkey. Look at this earlier. Paramount. Paramount is right next to Compton. Look at they burning the cars in the streets. Look at they burning the car in the middle of the goddamn street. So this is video. See, let me tell you something, man. These people are lucky as hell. They not dealing with Chief Daryl Gates. See, Chief Daryl Gates. Let me show y'all something. Let me tell y'all how Chief Daryl Gates used to deal with us here in LA. They scrub a lot of these photos. This is what they do. They make a lot of this shit black and white to make it seem old. Whenever they want to make something seem like real old and ancient, they put it in black and white. Man, I remember living. It wasn't a goddamn thing on TV in black and white when this shit was happening. I used to see these Rams right here, especially when I'd be at my grandmother's house. Especially when I'd be at my grandmother's house. You know, you would see the police raid somebody's house. You see them raid somebody's. Look at this. You see this Ram? This thing will come down the street, and if somebody was suspected for dealing drugs, these hoes will knock the goddamn window or door out and pull the shit and run it over. The internet acting real brand new, pulling these photos down because there's hundreds of these photos, thousands probably out there. These hoes are the news every night when I was a kid. You see how they put it in black and white, making it seem like it's some shit from the '60s. No, nigga, this is the reason why NWA created Straight Outta Compton. Because this is how they had to deal with us. When y'all was like, oh, the black, that gangster rap is violent. No, nigga, our environment was violent. And this quote unquote gangster rap was a response from the environment. And this is how the LAPD used to treat us. And this is why we had the LA riots. These people are getting a much softer version of the LAPD. And they lucky. Look at this. This is from CBS News. Throwing rocks. See, where they are right now is at Paramount. Let me show y'all where Paramount is on the map, all right? Let me show y'all where Paramount is on the map. And show you the proximity of it to LA. I'm going to show y'all more about where these riots have been going on. Where is it? All right. Here we go. See, this is what's happening. All these riots, they're happening here. This is Paramount. With that video they're showing you, that's this area. You see on this side on the left side of the freeway. You said y'all see this freeway in the middle? This is 710 freeway. On the left side is Compton. On the right side is Paramount. So all that shit that you see them throwing is over here. You see how far this is from like metropolitan? This is not far, but it's far. Like this Paramount's here. The other video you saw was downtown, way up here. This is downtown LA, up here. They're basically rioting in these areas. From downtown up here to Paramount over here, off the way over here. The rest of this shit you see all over here, there ain't no goddamn riots going on over here where we at. The rest of LA, they better not bring that shit over here. Mess up white folks' traffic. See, right now, they're only messing up other Mexicans' traffic. That's all where Mexicans live. Y'all messing up y'all own traffic. So you see where they were right here. But my question is, how are you going to be in a different country asking for rights? What's up, Black Voltron? He said illegal about the with the 82nd Airborne. They talking about some immigrant rights. Well, let's give them some rights and some lefts. LAPD, come on. Because I know when I went to Cabo San Lucas last year, if I stayed past my intended time of being out there and getting some fun in the sun, they'd be like, get your big ass out of here. I know I couldn't stay in Mexico long. I'm under oppression here in the United States. Why can't I get asylum somewhere else? So, yeah, so that's... Let me see if I can find some more videos. Let's see if I can find... This was yesterday right here. This was yesterday. This was yesterday. Let me see what they're talking about. Come on now.
LAPD choppers overhead with spotlights cutting through the night sky. Police and FBI agents are keeping protesters away from the Roybal Federal Building and the Metropolitan Detention Center, buildings that were earlier vandalized and spray painted. Friday night, downtown LA, as an army of federal and local law enforcement personnel guards government buildings, including a detention center where suspected violators of...
And that right there is what the Federal Reserve, well, what the Federal Reserve, that's the banking system. That's what the reserves are for the most part going to do. Cover the important buildings. I'll never forget. When the 92 riots happened, this I know that's true. The whole protecting their buildings. When the 92 riots happened, I lived over here in the Crenshaw district, right? I lived over here. I grew up on Chesapeake. I grew up right here. Fuck this street. They call it Obama Boulevard. No, nigga. This is Rodeo Road. Nigga. I live in a very quiet and ghetto at the same time neighborhood. The houses on the block, very quiet over here. There's a bunch of black people and Japanese from Okinawa. My neighbor, Miss Dorothy, was from Okinawa, and so was George. I grew up over on this block right here. You know, we had that was Mr. Clifford's house. That was Mr. George's house right there. The man that stayed in this house right here that you see with the tree right here, he used to walk down and give us flowers every Friday. What the fuck happened to Dorothy's front? Who did this? Man, some white people moved to Miss Dorothy's house. Miss Dorothy was another lady from Okinawa. And I grew up here. This is the man that bought our house. He still lived there too. That's the same car. Miss Agnes had that. And then right across the street was the hood. Nigga, these apartments was like the projects. It was shootings in these holes at least 2 or 3 times a week. And then right when he came out over here, fuck Obama. This Dorsey High. If you ever heard of Dorsey High, at one point in the 90s, this high school put more talent in the NFL than any other school in the country. Dorsey High. This here is where the first person I saw get killed was right here. I saw somebody get stabbed right here. The first time I saw somebody get shot was right here. Right here. I saw somebody get shot and laid out right there as I was looking from my house. So it's the gentrification's all across the country now. But back then, this neighborhood was like hella nice on this side of beautiful neighbors, and then the projects. Boom! But with that being said, our neighborhood was very cooperative. But when the riots happened, all this shit got burned down. All this shit. This here got burned down. Where you see this corner, I'm saying this for a reason. To show you how soft these niggas got it. All this shit, the reason why it looks fairly new, because all this shit burned down in the riots. The riot started on a Wednesday night. I know because we were going to go to church regardless. My mama had us in church. So the Wednesday nights, the riots happened. We came down the street, and I saw this whole center get burned down. And over here, this used to be a warehouse music right here. You see where it says Rainbow? This used to be a warehouse music. I remember warehouse music. I remember this shit getting burned down, all this shit. Why am I bringing all this up? All this shit got burned down during the riots, 7 at McDonald's. Thank God the McDonald's didn't get burned down because I had somewhere to eat a little bit when I was a kid. I said that to say the National Guard used to be housed when the LA riots happened. This is where the National Guard was, right here. This building right here is not anymore. But this was what this U-Haul you see right here. This was where the National Guard was during the Los Angeles riots of 1992. What happened when the riots broke out in 1992? Did the National Guard stop this shit from this? This side didn't get burned down. That used to be Clark's Drugs back in the day. This side didn't get burned down, but the other 3 corners did. Where was the National Guard that was housed right here during the LA riots? Were they on Crenshaw? Because I was there, I saw this shit get burned. I remember when the riots broke out, before my mom, we got on our bikes, and before my mama made me stay home, we got on our bikes, and we rode down here. That's West Angeles right there, Bishop Blake stealing money. Anyway, All this shit. See, this is knocked down. This used to be a boys' market right here. That shit that got burned. This used to be a Yum Yum Donuts and shit. That shit got burned. All this shit got burned. Where the fuck was the National Guard? I'll tell you where the National Guard was. They were over here in Beverly Hills on Wilshire. Nigga, they National Guard was right here. Standing in front of the 4 motherfucking seasons in Beverly Hills. This is where they were. This is where the fuck the National Guard was when the riots happened. Over here. National Guard is here to protect businesses and white people's shit. Them National Guard, few people protesting for illegal this and illegal that, they ain't gonna protect shit you got. They don't give a fuck. They don't give a fuck. That's why, again, like I said, the goddamn National Guard used to be right here. And they were like, yeah, nah, we ain't protecting none of you niggas. We are going to go to where the whites are. And the people that's up there protesting right now, y'all about to see the same shit. Y'all about to see the same shit.
Immigration laws are being held.
Fuck around and find out. And this is soft. Look at this shit. LAPD ain't doing nothing. They letting y'all follow around with cell phone cameras. Ain't nobody getting shot by water hoses. Man, look, y'all cannot complain. I ain't seen not one water hose. I ain't seen no mace. I ain't seen nobody's ribs get caved in. Usually somebody's ribs would have got caved in by now. And who's this nigga? Man, I hope that wasn't a nigga doing this shit. That looked like a nigga. Who this? Is that a nigga? Oh my God. Man, you just, look, man. If you a black person, you out here, man, that car should have ran your dumb ass over. But this is what they doing. Shit's wild out here, y'all. This shit is wild. But how can you protest with a foreign flag? How can that work? How can that work? Look at this. Uh. See, that's what's going on. Remember Trump said that he may get rid of that act that stops the I'm drawing a blank to the name of the act. What's that shit called? That prohibits the military from operating on United States soil. Look at this here. Yeah, any silly Negroes out there protesting, y'all can go to hell too. But look at this. Look at this. I'm gonna show y'all this. Look at this. Who's this with a Mexican flag right here? Get him. You know what I hear? Every time I see the police making arrests, I feel like this.
I am a real American.
That's how I goddamn feel right now. I'm an American.
When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside.
Well, you gotta take a stand. It don't help to hide. Down, 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 down. If you hurt my friends, you hurt my pride. I got it in the hand. It don't help to hide. I am a real American. I need y'all to sing along with me.
I am a real American.
I'm a real motherfucking American, nigga. When it comes crashing down and it hurts inside. Where y'all at? I need y'all to clap along with me. Somebody said I'm a clown. No, I'm not a clown. I'm a human. And Jesus obviously didn't save you. Jesus gave you the stupid gene. You should get rid of him and go become a Muslim or some shit. Muhammad, I'm not saying nothing wrong with Jesus. Jesus is great. But Jesus skipped over you, so you should call Muhammad or somebody. Muhammad might be your savior. Jesus saved somebody else. Jesus saved me and the rest of my chat room. Jesus didn't save you. You slipped through Jesus. The person named Jesus saved. You sorry son of a bitch. You slipped through them holes in Jesus' hands. Remember when they got him nailed to the cross, he had them holes in his hands? He tried to save you, but you slipped through one of them holes in his feet. Hoe ass hoe. Don't come to my chat room talking shit. This is a monarchy in here. Everybody don't get a vote. Hell yeah. I have a good time in there. What's up, chat room? I love you motherfuckers. How y'all doing? I'm over here drinking a bottle of wine. I'm here on camera. I just don't have my lights on. Like what y'all see here, this is my wine bottle right here. I'm sorry, y'all. I could be on camera, but I got this Pinot from the Russian River. Russian River's up there in Northern California, about an hour north of San Francisco. Some great fucking wine up there. I'm here, chat. I'm on camera. This is me. This is me. What's up, chat? What's up, Tanya Marie? What's up, Khalid Hassan? Yeah, this is a red. This is a red. And salute to all my legal Mexicans and the people here legally. I ain't got a problem with immigration. Some people are hardline on my side of the fence. What's up, boss of Queenie? It's a lot of us. It's a lot of hardliners out there. I am not a hardliner, although I do respect the hardliner. You know, I do not draw a hard line. I have my points of views, but at the end of the day, everybody got their point of view. I got mine, and I respect others. You dig what I'm saying? I don't have issues with Latinos, but I do have. My issue is with a government that sends information out to Mexico, to Nicaragua, and other countries, telling them to bring their workforce over here, all for the expressed intent of undermining black people. It's not the illegal that I see in front of me. It's not him. It's not her. It's not their fault that this is going on. They were enticed to come up here through the white supremacists. Let's never forget that. Mike C says in the super chat, in the 80s, Ronald Reagan gave them illegal amnesty twice. Right, right. Oh, you say you're listening to Raid by Lakeside today? Hi, DW. This is a raid. Everybody raid the dance floor. Raid. You a fool, DW.
This is a race. Everybody raid the dance floor. Raid.
This is a raid. Everybody raid the dance floor. Now, I believe in reciprocity, man. LA is my city, but the city that I like the most is reciprocity. Let's reciprocate. Because I'm all for open borders. But that got to be for everybody. This border can't be the one open while the rest of y'all be like, fuck you. Open borders mean all of our borders are open. This is a raid.
Raid. Everybody raid the dance floor.
Raid. This is a raid, goddammit. Terrell Moses, I'm with you. He said, no, if niggas go to jail for selling weed, they need to be held accountable for invading our country. I'm with you. I'm not against that either. Look, I told y'all, if you're a hardliner, I'm not necessarily against you. I'm not. You got a motherfucking good point. I'm more so to say, leave me alone, I'll leave you alone. But I gotta live here in a city that was once all black. I had this past weekend, salute to Lioness Crown. I don't know if y'all know who Lioness Crown is, Jade. She was in town on some business. And me and the wife, she came and kicked it with me and the wife earlier this week. And we were going through different parts of LA. She like, is this a black neighborhood? I'm like, it used to be. I'm like, God damn, because I'm not paying attention because I've seen the gradual change from the 80s through now. And when I look at the reason why these places are no longer black neighborhoods, one reason is because if you speak Spanish, you get paid more than people who don't. We're not talking about the people who picking cherries and all that stuff. We're talking about their children. The people who came over here to pick cherries and oranges, their children get jobs, and because they click on a box that they can speak Spanish, although most of their children don't know Spanish. And that's if your black ass get the job. What we see here in LA is over the last 30 years, the police departments went from white to Latino. And the numbers of black people in the LAPD and LA County Sheriff have dwindled. Most of that has to do with anti-black hiring practices. City jobs, construction jobs, the jobs that pay enough money for someone to be able to buy a home. You don't need these are jobs. I didn't even talk about college degree jobs. Black people have been X'd out of all of that shit. The same way we was X'd out of, hell, even the farm industry. My dad used to talk about in the late 50s and into the 60s, He would go up there and he would to Stockton, California, and pick cherries and strawberries. And that was a job that the black folks around there did. My cousins that lived up there did. And then he said he remember about 61, 62. My dad said he remember seeing like busloads of like these illegals coming in. And then by the time he went back the following year when he was like 14, there wasn't no more jobs for the niggas. Did black people move on from picking out on the cotton fields? Yes, we did. But kids don't give a fuck. The kids do this. It made no difference to a 16, 17-year-old who wants some money. Took away our whole infrastructure here in LA slowly, very slowly. So salute to this bitch ass nigga Donald Trump. I don't like him either. But this is watching them all. What's up, Quan? What's up, everybody in the chat? This is just us watching what's going on. Oh, Jasmine, I appreciate the soup, the Cash App. Latanya, I appreciate the Cash App. Oh, what's up, Hassan? Hassan, I just got your text. You said they spray painted La Raza on the building? Nah, man. See, La Raza, this is for La Raza. Man, hell nah. This is a rain.
Everybody raid the dance floor. Raid.
This is a rain. Y'all ask me, who is it that's raiding these people? Let me tell you. That's who's raiding these people.
Ice, ice, baby. Ice, ice, baby. All right, stop.
Ice Baby doing their goddamn job, boy. This is a raid. Man, now you got that song stuck in my head. Now you got that goddamn song stuck in my head. Hey, I got a serious question, chat room. They always say oppression is what created black music. Blues, jazz, that comes out of pain and suffering. Well, if it's the pain and the suffering that created the music, these people who are victims of these raids, they're about to create a whole new goddamn genre of music. They're about to create it all. They're gonna be all up on the record, rolling their tongues. This should result into some good music. Dr. Short calling me. Oh, for those of you listening, Dr. Short and I are gonna be on Patreon tomorrow. Dr. Short and I are gonna be on Patreon tomorrow at 11 a.m. Let me make sure.
I didn't know you were live.
Yeah, Dr. Short, I got you on the speakerphone. Yeah, we live, but we still on for tomorrow?
Yeah, but what time? The only reason this is this crazy shit with my mother and this health thing. What time again tomorrow? So I don't want to fuck it up. What time is it tomorrow?
I was thinking 11 a.m. Pacific time. Is that good?
11 a.m. Can you put a little further back? I tell you why. I hate this shit, and my mother's manipulative. because their ass is sick and they've got this event tomorrow at 2 p.m. 2 p.m. is what, about 11 o'clock your time?
Yeah, yeah.
That's exactly why I'm calling. Say, damn it, I wasn't even planning to go, and it's all this.
So what? I'm live now. So what time?
Do you think that you could do it at 2 o'clock tomorrow, or 3 o'clock your time? Does that work for you?
Let's push it off to Monday then, because I'm actually going to the Hollywood Bowl, and I gotta start getting ready about 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay, well, Monday's fine.
Let's do Monday.
All day Monday's fine. I just didn't want to screw you. I don't do that to people.
Oh, I know how you get down, Dr. Short. I'm gonna get back to my live, but let's do. I'm gonna tell the people we're gonna do Monday. All right.
Okay, all right.
All right, for sure. So Patreon folks, you heard it there live. Dr. Short's gonna be on Monday, because we started to go in, but Dr. Short, that motherfucker, his mouth get crazy with it. I was like, yeah, nah, Dr. Short, we gotta go to Patreon, homie. You are not about to get my channel no strikes. Look, man, I have been paying. My family has been paying taxes into the United States system of taxes since the first taxes were introduced in the United States of America. This is business here. You got to understand that. And although we don't mind people coming from other countries, I know I don't mind personally. I don't mind people come from other countries. I do mind when they come and target the jobs that black people have. And then once they're gonna have 72 kids. So they having 72 kids in a life, and niggas is having 0 to 2 kids, and they 72 kids gotta compete against black folks having 2 goddamn kids for these jobs. That's a real concern. So that's why I'm against illegal immigration, because I see it happening right in front of me. I remember when England was all black, and now it's not. I remember when I worked at the bank and I was over the business bank, seeing not $1 get passed out to black businesses when I was over the banking section when I worked at Washington Mutual Bank. But people of other races, they did get funding. I never really tell them stories about when I worked at the bank. I used to work at Washington Mutual Bank, and I was over all of the business accounts, all of the business loans. In the middle of downtown Inglewood, they had a whole lot of black-owned businesses. And not one of those black-owned businesses got a single dime, at least in my branch when I worked there. Look at this dumb motherfucker right here with a flag. This dude with the flag right here, yeah. You need smoke. You need smoke in inhalation therapy, nigga. No, and no disrespect. The Mexican flag is ugly. Like the Italian flag is the same colors, but it don't got that stupid ass symbol in the middle. Nobody wants to see that shit. Only time we want to see the Mexican flags when we about to watch a Canelo Alvarez fight. She look like old girl on American Pie. Y'all remember old girl's friend, the girl on American Pie?
It has become more violent. Individuals in the crowd that have been throwing objects at the federal agents, and we started.
That's right, FBI Cole. He said they don't understand optics at all. You right about that. Yeah, that flag is ugly. And We need the old school LAPD back. Because at the end of the day, I'm a real American. Now, God damn it. Oh yeah. This is beautiful. I'm about to get up out of here though. As y'all heard, my Dr. Short, we're gonna postpone until Monday. So for those of you on Patreon, we'll get with Dr. Short on Monday, all right? But I'll still come to you guys tomorrow. Well, probably about 11 Pacific. We're gonna be in here. This is what's going on. Don't buy the hype. Illegal immigration is to make all it is to undercut the price of labor. They ain't trying to save nobody, and we don't necessarily need them. Americans to do all those jobs, but for the right price. All right? Steve James said, that's another good. I'm gonna close out with that one. Just say, oh, that was a good one. Cause we used to look, we used to fight for everybody, man. We used to fight for everybody, and we saw during Obama and also especially this past Biden administration, people get what they want, and then they stop fucking with us. They don't fuck with us at all. That's what happens. We fight for people, and then after we done fighting, this how we ended me. Love don't live here anymore. We loved y'all. We still do. But when the Democrats get in office, when the Democrats get in office, this is what we get from y'all. That's what we get. You abandoned me. Love don't live here anymore. Only thing black, it's only one thing black people got left. You know, this is all we got left. That's the vacancy. Cause love don't live here anymore. Because you abandoned me. When times are going good, you abandon me. So we said, fine. You abandoned me. You don't live here anymore. Appreciate the suggestion, Steely Dan. And this is what we can tell the people who are illegal that are crying. We can tell them to go drink their big black cow and get out of here. And for those of you protesting and you want black folks help, this is what we got to say.
Break away.
Break away. Now. Go drink your big black cow and get out of here. Listen to Ray Charles. Jack. And don't you come back no more. Oh woman, don't you treat me so mean. The United States is the meanest old country that I ever seen. I guess if you say so, I have to pack my motherfucking bags and go. That's right. Hit the road, Jack. And don't you come back no more. No more. No more, no more. What you say? Latoya, I appreciate the cash app. Latoya. Sherman Woods, I appreciate the cash app. And for those of you who don't know, I have a music summer school for the childrens and also for you adults if you want to be a part of it. But the work is going to be catered towards the childrens. The Black American Music Family Tree Legends, Instruments, and Legacy Program. 5 classes. Only $30 a class. We're going to teach the kids about Mahalia Jackson, Aretha Franklin, Coltrane, B.B. King, Albert King, James Brown, Maurice White, George Clinton, and how that all leads to Kendrick, how that all leads to Taylor Swift and Drake and K-pop. The babies got to know that K-pop ain't nothing but the Temptations fried up in the wok. So all K-pop is wok fried rhythm and blues. So we're gonna have that course this summer, 5 weeks. Digital workbook, Spotify playlists, artist and instrument fact sheets, all that good stuff. Somebody asked a really good question. Dale says, "Will ICE raid the MLB?" That's a good fucking question, Dale. And I thank you for proposing that and putting it out there to the universe. Maybe. Hopefully, the next place ICE goes is the office of Elon Musk. That's what I want ICE to do. I want ICE to get that degenerate motherfucker. Hey, ICE, this is illegal. He looks like a robot, but talks like a human named Elon Musk. He got a black eye. Can you get him, please? Thank you. My taxes will appreciate you. You know what else he said? The lead singer of the Moments just died earlier this week. Yeah, I know the Moments. Because what happened was found citizenship on a two-way street and lost it on a lonely highway. I found citizenship on a two-way street and lost it on a lonely highway. Citizenship on a two-way street. And lost it on a lonely highway. I see you hurt. And rest in peace to Wayne. Wayne Lewis from Atlantic Star. Circles go round and round. You dig what I'm saying?
Circles go round in circles.
Circles until you get away. Round and round and round until you get away from the bullshit. All right? This show will most definitely be demonetized because I played the music. So if you appreciate tonight, hit the Cash App $ Dewan B1. Hit the Cash App $ Dewan B1 and understand that, hey, look, at the end of the day, this country is going to do what it's going to do. Black people, stay out of it. All we can do is be entertained. These people aren't going through one hundred thousandth of what you, me, your aunties, uncles, grandparents, and nieces and nephews go through. You choose to come to an evil country. That's what I'm going to close it out by saying. The United States is evil. The whole world knows this place is evil. If you say, you know what, I'm going to sit that evil to the side because I can come here and make more money than I'm making right now, that's your decision. I have no issues with that. None at all. Just remember when you collect that paycheck that you chose to take the devil's bargain. You chose to ignore how evil that entity is. So when that entity decides to do what is done all the time to everybody, even poor whites, you decide to jump up in that, it's on you. What the fuck can I do? I've given this analogy before. It's like going to the haunted house at Disneyland. You know where the haunted house ride is. You walked your happy ass over to the haunted house ride. You stood your happy ass in line for 45 minutes to get in the haunted house. There were disclaimers in that line. There's sensitive materials in this haunted house. No flash photography, and there's a lot of sensitive materials in this place. All those warnings, all that being said, and you still decide to go in said haunted house. At that point, what the fuck can I do? Seriously, folks, what can I do at that point? You said yes. Show me the boogeyman. And the boogeyman comes in your face. And instead of dealing with the boogeyman, your way of dealing with the boogeyman is to raise the flag of your home country, demanding to be put into a new country. And as a citizen of the red, white, and blue, how am I supposed to feel when I see a foreign flag on my land? That's not our flag. And you're doing it all during Black Music Month. Damn. I'm about to be up out of here. It's just something I wanted y'all to consider, all right? I'll see y'all tomorrow. Thank y'all again for listening. Remember, there are no perfect messengers. Only perfect messages for those willing to pick up the game. We out.